Good day, viewers, and welcome to the Citizens Mind, the civic innovation project by Yaga Africa and in support by the National Endowment for Democracy. And this program is brought to you live by Mentoring Individuals Dreams Initiative. Today, we will be talking about the challenges currently being faced by voters as they try to get their cards and the process that it entails. My name is Ibon Blessing, and on today's event, we will be talking with the head of the HOD Voter Education and Publicity, Edo State, INEC, and no other person than Mr. Timidi Wariowe. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much for
It's,
having me.
it's an honor to be in your midst today, sir, and having you address this issue that concerns citizens of Edo State and in general Nigerians. First of First of all, I'd like to know what has the process of the registration been from the Commission's end so far?
Okay, thank you very much. It has been a very smooth ride, to say, because this is one of our major activities as an electoral umpire. It's one of our major activities we conduct from time to time, talking about the continuous voter registration. It is in the Electoral Act that the Commission conducts what we call continuous voter registration after major elections like the general election. So we've been doing that. In 2017, we did that and ended later part of 2018 before the 2019 general elections. Then sometime last year again, we started, and we started with the online registration portal, which was an innovation. We've not done online registration before, online or online pre-registration. But this is the first time we started with the online pre-registration portal. We started sometime in, I think, 26th or 28th of June, 2021. And after that, like 3, 4 weeks after, our offices were opened for capturing of biometrics of those persons that register. The process is like this. For those people that are doing registration, because you cannot capture your biometrics online,
Sure.
you will just go the online, fill the form, and schedule a date where you go to the INEC office to capture your biometrics. That has been the process. And it started since June 2021, and it was on. So many persons scheduled dates, gave appointments on when they will visit the INEC offices, and they'll go to the INEC offices, and their biometrics were captured. And then after some time, the offices, we moved from the registration at the local government offices. We now moved to the wards because there was this clamor that so many persons were finding it difficult to go to the INEC offices, maybe because it was far from their places of domain where they reside. So we now have to rove. We now have to go down to the grassroots, to the ward headquarters to continue the registration. And then at that point, it was not just only at one ward headquarter. We now started moving from one ward headquarter to the other. Right now, as we speak, we are not concentrating on ward headquarters. We are going to pulling units from one pulling unit to the other to capture, to register the people. So it has been a good experience. It has been a very good exercise. Even though there are complaints here and there, we are trying to address the complaints.
Thank you very much, sir. So we've noticed that a lot of the registration points and centers are usually overcrowded in recent times. What is the Commission doing currently to reduce the number of crowds, seeing that the date that has been mentioned for the deadline of the registration is 30th of this month?
Yes, we've done some few things. One, we've increased the machines. We were given additional 7 machines from INEC headquarters. The machine, what we're talking about is what we call IVED. INEC voter enrollment device. This is an improved version of the smart card reader we used to have. So this one works better. This one works faster. You know, so that is the machine that we're using, and because we 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 don't have so many, so to say, you know, when we requested for additional machines, the commission gave the state only seven additional machines were given. And those seven additional machines have been deployed to the various local governments, especially the four local governments that are covering Benin City. So we have more registration centers here in Benin City. And again, we are also carrying out this campaign because we also noticed that a whole lot of people that are going to the registration centers, they are not just going there because they want to register afresh, but some persons are going there for transfer of their voting points. Some persons are going to update information on their permanent voter cards, and some persons are also going there because they have lost their PVCs and they want to get a new one. So I think there was a kind of uh, uh, a lacuna in terms of information dissemination on this issue. So right now we are carrying out the campaign, the sensitization that if you want to do transfer, you can still do it online because the online portal is still open.
Okay.
The online portal that we've been doing the registration is still open. So if you want to do transfer, you don't need to go to the already crowded registration centers. You can do it online, except you are not computer literate or you don't have an Android phone. But I know very well that most of the persons that are going there are youths and are people that can use Android phone. So instead of going to the registration centers, they can do it online. If you have lost your PVC and you want to get a new one, you have to go to the registration portal and do that. All that is required of you is for you to get a court affidavit, to show that, to prove that you have lost your PVC, or a police statement to show that you've lost your PVC. Because when you go online, they will request you to upload that information, that paper, So those persons that lost their PVCs and want to get a new one, they don't need to go to the already crowded registration centers. If you want to update information, if you want an update of information, you don't need to go to the already crowded registration centers. Update of information means if you think that your PVC, the picture is no longer clear, the weddings, your name is not spelled correctly, or the nylon is torn, or one thing or the other that you need to.
That's because they deface.
Yeah, they defaced PVC. So you don't need to go to the already crowded registration centers. You can do that in the comfort of your house. If you have Android phone, just log into the INEC registration portal and you do that. So we are increasing the sensitization on these categories of persons that are going to the registration center, so that they won't go to the registration center. They can just stay in their houses and get that done. So if this message is well sunk into most of the people that are going, they won't go to the registration centers. And in that respect, if we leave the registration centers for only those who are going for fresh registration, because their biometrics will be captured, I think we'll have lesser crowds at the registration center. So we are doing all this sensitization to reduce the crowd in the registration centers.
Thank you very much, sir. So that's a very good one on the part of the commission. But another thing that a lot of persons out there are clamoring for is that we've noticed that some persons have been registered before. They've got the temporary voters card as at 2015, and then they said words got to them that those are no longer tenable. Like they cannot use it to get the permanent voters card. Is that true?
No, no. That is a big lie. We've tried to debunk that statement or that story a very long time, and we keep doing that. We are saying that, see, the voter's card is not like the ATM card that will expire 1 year or 2 years. No, The voters card, and that is why we take time to produce it. The voters card can last for so many years. If you registered 2011 or even 2015 or even 2019 or now, you can use it in the 2023 general elections and even beyond. So far as the PVC is still intact, if the PVC is still intact, it's not worn out, then you can register, you can use it. So this story of voters card expiring, no, our voters cards don't expire. It is even though you registered before 2011 or 2015 or 2018, you can still use it. Even with the beavers that we want to use in the 2023 general election, your PVC will be acceptable. Your PVC, all the information in your PVC will be read by the beavers that we are going to use in the 2023 general elections for accreditation. So that story is from the pit of hell, and we have tried so many times at different places to debunk it. The voters card is not like an ATM card that expires after 1 or 2 years and they will tell you to go to the bank to renew it. It's not like that. It can last for as long as possible. INEC has not said that the voters card will expire. What we need to do, if it is defaced, log into the INEC registration portal and update it. A new PVC will be printed for you, and then we are going to get, when you are coming to pick the new one, we will retrieve the old one for you, from you. That is what it means. You don't need to go and register because PVC has expired. It doesn't expire at all.
So for those persons who would now want to go ahead and use their temporary voters card that was given to them as at when they registered, where do they need to go to now to get this permanent cards?
Well, okay, temporary voters card is when you have not collected the permanent voter card.
Yes.
Yes, you go to the INEC office, the local government you register, the INEC office, the local government that you register.
Okay, so they need to visit the INEC office, the local government INEC office that controls the area in which they registered.
Exactly. You
and
go
then
there.
they would have access to it.
Yes. Let me tell you one shocking development here. For those that registered before the 2019 general elections, we have uncollected PVCs up to 400,000 in our custody, uncollected. I'm talking about those that registered before the 2019 general elections. We stopped registration around October, November 2018, because the 2019 general elections came around February. So those people that registered that time, we have uncollected PVCs, whooping number of about 400,000. Wow. We started distributing those ones. Now, those persons that registered last year, from June when it started to December, we've printed their PVCs. And even recently, even those that did transfer, we've printed them. And we are distributing them as we are doing this registration. So if you go to the INEC offices at the local government, the PVCs are there for distribution. Even the roving centers, they carry some of these PVCs within that place. The roving these centers that we are doing CVR, to make it easier for those that are coming to collect their PVCs. So we are making things easy for people. But if you have not collected your PVC before, yes, if you are still holding your temporary voter card, the TVC, please and please do us a favor to go to the INEC office. We have PVCs of persons who registered before the 2019 general elections in our custody. We have PVCs of persons who registered last year. We are distributing all these ones. So it's left for the people. At whatever category you find yourself, it's left for the people, those persons, to go to the INEC offices to pick their PVCs.
So now, we've also heard that the machines are currently roving and persons are getting registered on a daily basis while the machines are roving. But do you think that, is it possible for the commission to decentralize the CVRO process as much as possible, like enlarge the places, extend the places where these machines can rove to, and so that we can cover a lot of grounds.
Well, what we are doing, to us, we are covering a lot of grounds because we are no longer doing it at the world headquarters alone. We are going to some pooling units.
Okay.
Yes, we are going to some pooling units. So we are, in fact, moving from. If you see the schedule of rotation, local government by local government, especially here in Benin, they are moving to pooling units. It's a pooling, it's also pooling unit, and maybe a school or an open space close to that pooling unit, or a government facility close to that pooling unit. They will just go to that place and do the registration. The next day, they move to, maybe 2 days after, they move to another pooling unit. Down, pooling unit is the last point, and we are doing it at the level of the pooling unit. We are concerned, we are covering so much grounds as we speak.
What's the mechanism, sir, that is used to disseminate as concerning where, what time each of these machines will be at a place?
Well, first and foremost, we have told the electoral officers to um, paste them. They are moving to on weekly basis. If every Monday, the centers that they have designed to move from Monday to Tuesday to Wednesday to Thursday to Friday, let them write it out and paste them in their offices. And because to some of us that was not enough, so many stakeholders were not informed of this mechanism. I requested that they send to me, and I always put them on various social media platforms. Peter knows I always put it on the CSO's platform, and I've also been whenever most radio and TV stations, I also send to them so that they can be making announcement, they calling the centers that the people are moving to from place to place, especially the centers within Benin metropolis here. So in that respect, so many persons, especially the social media uh, persons, and then the radio and TV stations also are aware, and they have been announcing these registration centers.
What are we looking at for the clamor for the extension of the dates? Is the commission thinking of extending the dates for the process of registration?
Well, I cannot speak very well on that because that is a decision that will be taken by the INEC headquarters, the commission itself. That is the chairman and maybe the national commissioner. They will take that decision. But again, we are all aware that there is a court order, and then there is a court order, then there is also the court will sit, I think, on 29th, where INEC is going to present its case. And ordinarily, the exercise should be, or is expected to be, come to an end or suspended on the 30th of June. But we are supposed to appear in court on the 29th of June. So between now and the 29th, anything can happen. Maybe on the 29th, when we appear in court, anything can happen. But the commission has, the summary of it all is that the commission has not made any statement as to whether we are going to extend the CVR or not. Whenever there is a statement to that effect, whether we are extending the CVR or not, the general public will be well informed.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Now, we've noticed that that court case actually is by Nigerians who are clamoring for an extension in the date. And we know that the commission is supposed to be an independent body on its own that should work and not be subjected to such policies. But if we look at the extension that was given, the grace period that was given to the party primaries, for the party primaries, we also expect that same grace should also be given to citizens so that we do not have anybody disenfranchised in the process.
Well, that grace period was just six days. That grace period was just 6 days, and the commission felt that that 6 days there was no major activity in our timelines. There was no major activities in our timelines that will be disrupted. So it was based on that we now said that okay, we are given 6 days extra to the political parties to round up their primaries, and then after that they now um submit the list of their candidates to the commission. But in this case, the commission is feeling that if there is an extension, a whole lot of things will be disrupted. We've released our timetable, step by step activities that the commission will do, leading to the 2023 general elections. And that is why the commission now said by the 30th of June, the CVR should be suspended. So I don't know how the commission will react to that, whether there is going to be a slight adjustment and then the exercise will be extended or not. But we are all waiting to what the commission will say from now to the 30th, when ordinarily the CVR is supposed to end.
Okay. So now, do we is it possible that the commission partners with organizations to reduce the number of crowds in the offices, in the various INEC offices? To what extent can that be achieved?
Well, partnering with various bodies is in terms of crowd control. I can't really say it here because registration is being done at the local government offices, and the local government offices is the electoral officers that are in charge of the local government offices, electoral officer and the staff of the various local governments. So what extent they are exactly doing in terms of crowd control. Some persons called me and said, we can help you, we can support you in one way or the other. We can support you one way or the other in this registration. To what point, to what extent you can come in, I really don't know, because registration is done at the local government. You know, if you want to do crowd control, maybe you go to the electoral officer, and if he finds you okay in every ramification, if he can engage you, okay, fine, that you want to do crowd control. But this is a period where so many things happen. If you don't trust somebody, you can't give the person any sensitive job to do. At the end of the day, it's INEC. They are going to call INEC that this is what INEC is doing, because I'm aware that we are aware that there is so much crowd at the various registration centers, and those persons that are helping them to do crowd control, I don't know for what extent they are doing it and how effective it has been. But I think that me sitting down here, I'm not so much aware or involved in the crowd control matter. The electoral officers will know better, and I think they will be in better position to speak on that.
Okay, thank you. One of our questions from our viewers who are currently watching is that usually ad hoc staffs are usually requested for. What is it going to be like this year? That usually ad hoc staff are requested by the commission. So what is it going to be like this year? What are the modalities this year?
No, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It is very clear. Our guidelines on the recruitment of ad hoc staff, they are very clear. The ad hoc staff that we are going to use are the polling units, the pool officials, majorly youth corps members, NYSC corps members, and if we don't have enough corps members in that particular in the state, then we take maybe final year students of federal universities or federal final year students of federal universities, or maybe junior staff of federal establishments. It's going to be federal, not state. Junior staff of federal establishments as pool staff. Then the supervisory presiding officers and collation officers are mostly taken from the federal universities, and also senior staff of federal establishments. That has been the recruitment pattern. So even in the 2023 general elections, is this pattern we are going to follow.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Now, another question is this. Why are there why are the machines not working in some areas? So this is talking about um, the ability of the machines to perform the job which they've been assigned to do.
I really don't know. Our machines are working very well. Our machines are working very well. Even under very hot environments, our machines are working very well. If there is maybe if it's slow, maybe few cases. If
Okay, so
a few cases.
are we
Okay.
looking at it that there is no possibility of inadequacy of some sorts that could have arisen?
I said if it is not working very well, it's going to be maybe few cases, very few cases. But generally, uh, our machines are working very well.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you very much, sir.
you're
And
welcome.
our viewers, so we've had the voter education and publicity head of department, INEC Edo State, Mr. Timidi Wagi. I'm sorry, I've murdered that name. But Mr. Timidi, and he has done justice to most of our questions that we've asked him today, ranging from the CVRO registration, the processes that it entails, and what citizens need to do. For those who have their temporary voters card from 2011 registration, 2015, and 2019 registration, you need to go to the INEC office in the local government area where you registered to claim those your permanent voters card because they are available. You do not need to participate in the current ongoing CVRO exercise. So you just need to walk into any of those INEC offices that controls the local government where you registered. Remember that it is the local government INEC where you registered. And we've also talked about voters who have their permanent voters card before now and they've either lost it. If you have lost your voters card, then you need to go and get an affidavit from the court or from the police, a report from the police stating that you have lost your voters card, and then you can now proceed to the online registration and upload that document on the site. And then if you have a defaced voters card, that is, you still have your voters card, but maybe certain informations have wiped out of it, then you can go ahead and just do an update on the register on the CVRO site. And remember that you do not need to go to any of the INEC offices. We should try as much as we can to reduce the crowd. And these are things that Mr. Timidi has been able to share with us today. And for this, we are grateful. I thank you, my viewers, for staying tuned. You have been wonderful. And we see you next time on the next episode of The Citizen's Mind. I am Igbon Blessing. It's bye for now. Thank you very much, sir.
You pronounce that name well before you leave here.
I